I didn't like school. I had a really tough time at school. I think during that period of time, and this was the 70s, so school's much better now, actually. Uh, I think teachers are much stronger and more emotionally connected now than back in those days to the students. I just wanted to be in nature. So I was the kid in the classroom looking out the window, going, I'd rather be out there hanging out by that tree than doing this math problem right now. Real life happens after high school. It really, truly does. Real life is not going on for you guys right now in high school. Your real lives are happening, but the cultural phenomenon of high school is not indicative of what will happen when you leave high school. But you're there. Don't escape life. Just deal with it. Do it. Finish the project. Finish the class. Get high school finished. Get the diploma. And get excited for where real life is going to go after high school. I'm not speaking for everybody, because if my wife were here speaking, she adored high school. She's an extreme academic. She became a doctor. For her, everything was about schooling. But I wasn't one of those people, and my son isn't one of those people. My daughter is. So one thing I did not do, though, I didn't quit. I don't mean I didn't quit school. I didn't quit school, but I just didn't quit life. I didn't quit my own agenda. Part of me and my personality and my son's personality is, let's get through this. My son right now is older and now studying to be a paramedic, and he's a smoke jumper fighting wildfires. So now he's in the school he really wants to be in, and he's doing more reading than he's ever done, and he's loving it. You see, real life for him began after high school. Real life for me began after high school. But that didn't mean that I just said, fine, I don't need this. The idea here is that we make use of everything that is there for us. Everything you learn right now will come back down upon you, if you will. It becomes a toolkit that you draw out of for the rest of your life. So the idea is, if you aren't all that thrilled to be in high school in this period in your life, fine, then make use of it to yourself. Get selfish about it. Use what you can from high school. Pull out of high school everything you can, which doesn't necessarily mean you have to like taking math, or it doesn't necessarily mean you have to like some other subjects, but get selfish about it. I used to think I used to get thrown at me the phrase, well, you know what you need, Mr. Stroud, is you need some self-discipline. And I used to take offense to that, like, self-discipline, that's it. And then all I hear is discipline. It took me a long time to realize that self-discipline is an amazing tool. It's a tool by which you say, okay, what do I want? I'm going to get selfish about life now. What do I want in life? Well, if I use some self-discipline, I can become a way better guitar player. I can learn so much more about what I really, that's self-discipline is a wonderful tool for your own selfish end, your own selfish goals. And you know what, guys? There's a time in life, I'm going to keep going here. There's a time in life to be selfish. There's a time in life to be community-oriented. And there's a time in life to be globally oriented. And we all pick and choose which of those we want to be. And there's some hybrids going on there. Me, it's pretty clear I went the global route. I worked on things that I wanted to see out in the larger world. Godspeed to the people who are community oriented. I've always had a tough time with that. Not so much me, but that's, I coached the local hockey team. It's the people doing the funding drives and coaching teams and teaching kids and helping to build things and revitalize a stream and all of that, community minded and helping people in need. That's another angle. And then the third one is being selfish. There's a time in our life where we need to be selfish. If you're training to be an Olympic athlete, you got to be selfish about it, or you're never going to get there. If you're in university to become a doctor, that's 12 years of being selfish, or you're never going to become a doctor. And so there are times. Now, I will say, if you remain selfish and never become community-minded and never become globally minded or a hybrid, that one I have a tough time with. At some point, you have to take everything you gained from the self-discipline tool you used to be selfish about where you want to go and give back. That to me is one of the answers to life, is giving back. And whether you give back globally by becoming a rock star or a great author or a filmmaker or an artist, or whether you give back in the sense of community by coaching, leading, teaching, giving, helping, one way or the other, eventually you get to an age in your life where it's time to give back now. It's time to give. So now you're in high school. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. I didn't like it, guys, but I was just selfish enough to think, but I can get out of this what I want. This is where I try to lead when it comes to understanding how to get through this phase of life called high school, and understand, get excited about the fact that you finish this, just finish this, because when you get on the other side of it, life truly and really does open up. You become Alan, you become a teacher. You become Les Stroud, you become Survivorman. You become a million different things. My wife becomes a doctor, you know. So that's really exciting. And you can use what you're gaining from teachers like Alan and the other teachers in high school to get there. Seek out a mentor, by the way. I had 0 mentors growing up. Be careful about who's toxic and who isn't, but seek out the mentors. They want to help. You know, they have their own biases. Take that into account. But beyond that, they want to help. And that's something I didn't have when I was in high school, was a good mentor, and I wish I had. Academic leaders and academically minded kids, they're kind of on a path. They kind of got it. They know, you know, my wife always knew. Athletic leaders, they've got a path. Whether or not that leads to something professional is another story. That's different, but they've got a path, and there's a focus there. And then there's the rest of us, because there's like genres of living in society. It's kind of like athleticism, academic ways. How about socially minded? So politically minded. Again, that's a very strong focus. It's another genre. But there's so many of us that just didn't know what to do. And that was me. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to be a rock star. I didn't become a rock star. I never became Neil Young. Wanted to be. I wished if I'd had guidance and mentorship, I might have. What that enabled me to do is understand what it was to be there, and yet still land in an amazing position in life.
And you worked hard for that. I mean, you worked hard for that. I saw the grueling experiences
I
you
worked
put
very
yourself
hard,
through.
but everyone will always say that cliche. If you love what you're doing, it's not work.
True. I feel that. By the way, I work for mental health, and I'm actually a social worker. So just to clarify, but you're right. It's teaching of a different type, and it's really something you put your heart into. But okay, now you mentioned something that I really need to ask you about. Music. Mm-hmm. Why do you do it, and why is it so important to you?
I'm a really late bloomer. I mean, guys, Survivorman didn't land on TV till I was 42 years old. So I'll say this, I lost 10 years of my life to the wrong road, the drinking and the drugs and all of that. 10 years I lost from 14 to 24. And I spent a lot of time trying to get those 10 years back. Along the way, trying to get those 10 years back, I learned that being a late bloomer is just fine. That sometimes things come about later in life. I'm almost 60. I'm still trying to be a rock star. I'm still trying to be Neil Young. Now, most people would say, come on, you know, really, music? You're Survivorman. Just go build a shelter. You know, am I good at survival and wilderness skills? I'm one of the best, no question. But my heart never lost the desire. And that's a thing. Things you truly desire, don't think it ends when you're 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60. It never leaves. If it's like an unrequited love. And I have felt unrequited about my music my entire career. I'm off being Survivorman, becoming this TV celebrity thing, making good money, traveling the world, and all the while, my 14-year-old self just wants to be Neil Young. Now, I could say, in many ways, it's kind of been coming around, because in the last 5 years, I've played on stage with Journey and Alice Cooper and Slash and Johnny Lang. And it goes, I've met all these rock stars. I've gotten to go up and jam with them. I've recorded 7 albums. I've played with amazing musicians that are some of the biggest in the world. I've had Joni Mitchell listen to my cover of her song and say, love what you did with my song, Les. And all those things have happened. That's a lot of braggadocio right there. All those things have happened, but they've happened because I never gave up on my dream. I'm still dreaming that dream, and I can achieve it. Can I be 21 and winning a Grammy for a fresh new rock album? No, I can't. I also can't make the Toronto Maple Leafs anymore either. I had to give up on that a long time ago too. But can I make the best music I can make? And can I have people go, I love your music and your song really touched me? Yes. And do I write songs about nature? Of course I do. That's what's on my mind all the time. So of course I write songs about nature and connecting to nature. That's like, it's kind of like, duh, that was bound to happen. I write love songs too, and I write social commentary songs, but of course I write about nature. And the last 2 albums, Bitter and Lake, and the new one about to come out, Mother Earth, they're actually all online digitally now. They're about nature in a big way. And I bring in other artists, like, oh no, I'll work with you, Stroud. I loved watching you on TV. Sure, I'll play a guitar for you. Oh, thanks, Slash. And there I am sitting there with Slash, and he's doing a solo on my song. To me, my whole life has been music, nature, music, nature, music, nature. Nature won the day. Survivorman gave me the money I needed to buy a car and pay off my house. But as a love, they've been neck and neck my whole life, and they will be till the day I die. So that's my answer to you as far as why.
Yeah, that's cool.
Someday, somewhere, I'll tell you my goal. Here's my goal. I've had to pull the car over before in tears when I've listened to Blue Rodeo and Greg Keeler started the song Hasn't Hit Me Yet, and he stopped and the whole audience sang the song from beginning to end. I was on the side of the road crying, because that is my goal. Someday, when we get back to gathering in public again, I want to play just one song of mine, and I want enough people in the audience to start murmuring the lyrics that I could let them sing. I will probably, I'm getting emotional as I tell you this, probably bust down on stage, but that's my goal.
That's connection. That's connection right there. Connecting with all those people. Oh, well, what a great conversation. We could do this all day.
I love being able to talk about stuff like this. I think for me, the fact that I was a struggling teenager, I sucked at a lot of stuff at high school. And yet look at where I am. And I don't mean to say that in a bragging sense. I mean to say that that's all of us. Some of us already have those paths set, but lots of us don't. And set your goals, set your path, and just go. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what he says or what she says. And even if the he's and the she's are really close to you, even if the he's and the she's are parental or uncles and aunts or teachers saying the wrong things, or if they're your fellow students and your buddies and your gang, either way, you know what you want to do in life. And even if you don't know what you want to do in life, then do lots of things and figure that out. Make some mistakes, find what you want to do in life. Because that's way more important than what everybody else has to say about it. Young adults in high school, they're my favorite. It's my favorite group of people to speak with, because it was my most challenging time of life. I came from, just a few notches up from the worst possible scenario. And I'm here. And so I would always have time for you, because it can be, whoever's sitting there listening to this or watching this going, okay, well, he's hitting my soul. He's got a point. Yes, that's right. I do. And I do mean you.
Les Stroud, Survivorman, a genuinely caring guy who has really kind of found some wisdom out there in the wilderness and brought it home for us. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.